Hi Year 2, Mrs Bird here with our English this week. Our what is to rewind our learning about Africa. Okay, so what I would like you to do is have a think, what can you remember about Africa? What you're going to have to do is bring all of that old learning from Spring 1, so right at the beginning of this year in January, to the front of your brain. Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds to think, what can you remember about Africa? Okay, so I know that it was a long time ago, and I know how sometimes it's really easy to forget these things. So I have got something in place so that I can help you to remember. So under my coloured shapes, I have got some pictures or some words that represent our learning about Africa. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal them really slowly. So for each one that I reveal, I want you to have a think about what does that picture represent, what does that picture mean, or what does that word mean. Okay. Okay, so now that I've revealed all of those pictures and those words, what I'd like you to do is either tell your parent or your siblings everything that you can remember about Africa. Hopefully these pictures will have reminded you about something. I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that and then we'll go through it. Okay, that wasn't quite a minute, but I'm sure that was long enough for you to go through and tell your parents what you can remember. Okay, so this picture here is showing you that Africa is a continent, okay, and it is this continent here. This one here is showing us that there are 54 countries that make up that continent, Africa. And Africa is the second largest continent, okay, in the world. This one here is to remind you about the climate zones. So the majority of countries in Africa are in the tropical climate zone, but the north and the south are in the temperate climate zone. Okay, and this here is to show you some of their landmarks. So if we remember, a landmark is an object or a feature that can be seen from a distance. Okay, I have popped two of the landmarks on. So the first one is Mount Kilimanjaro. So you can see that it's the volcano that is famous for being the highest mountain in Africa. And the second one is Victoria Falls. So it's that waterfall on the Zambezi River. Okay, so they're some of the things that we learned right at the beginning of this year. Okay, and I was hoping that these pictures would remind you about that learning. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to Kiddle. And we're going to research a little bit more about Africa, okay, to help us remember as much as we can, because this will help us later on in the week, okay, because we are building up to writing a postcard later on in the week, so this should help us. So we're going to go on to Kiddle. So what you will do is you will go onto your internet browser at home and you will probably get Google. So what you will type in is Kiddle, okay, and this is a child-friendly search engine, so it's a very safe one. But we do need to make sure that when we are online, when we're doing anything like this, that we stay safe, we don't give any information to anybody. And if there's anything that we're unsure about, we need to tell our parents. Okay, so it brings up our search engine. So what we need to do is we need to type Africa, because that is the one that we are trying to rewind about, into the search engine, and it will bring up lots of child-friendly things. Okay, so your task is to go through and see how much information you can get from that, just to help you refresh your learning that you have from the beginning of the year. Okay, what you can do is you can write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, you can write it in your notebook. You could even draw pictures if that's an easier way for you to remember. But that is our first task this week. Okay, I'm looking forward to you sharing all of this on Dojo to see what you come up with, what you can remember from our learning. Okay, fantastic. Look forward to seeing it year 2, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.